Hello, this is Aaron Saft on the MR Runningpains podcast. With 30 years of running experience and 20 years of coaching, I thought it time to share with you things I've learned and people I've met so that you can try things for yourself and see if they help your running. Thanks for joining me.
Wrote this song while crewing Aaron on a 100-mile foot race through the trails in the rain and mud. How about that? 100 miles to go. 100 miles to go. Don't ask me why I do it, I don't know. Miles by foot. 100 miles by foot. Don't ask me why I do it, I can't stay put. Rain is a coming, can't give a fit. Rain is a coming, can't give a fit. Don't ask me why I do it, but I am legit.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 51. Today, I have a very fun guest. He's a great young man. As you'll hear in our conversation, he's got a great head on his shoulders, as well as some very speedy and strong legs. His name is Erick Martinez. As you'll hear from Eric's story, he grew up until he was 10 in Mexico, and then came here to the United States. He currently lives in South Carolina, and that's where he moved to when he moved here. Just real fun conversation with Erick. He just won the South Mountains 50K here in Western North Carolina. Just a real strong run. But we get to talk just about everything in Erick's life and what got him into running and what continues to inspire him. I really enjoyed his story and hearing the enthusiasm, enjoying his voice. I think it really resonates. So I hope you can take some inspiration from his story and even take away some lessons. So without further ado, here is Erick Martinez. So as I said in my introduction, I have with me today Mr. Erick Martinez. Erick, how are you?
Doing good. Not feeling too bad after yesterday.
Yes, so Erick and I are recording the day after he ran the South Mountains 50K. Today is January 31st as we record this. So we were kind of talking prior to starting here, and it sounds like you're in pretty good shape, maybe a little bit of wear and tear, but not too bad. Is that right?
Yeah, the knees are the only thing that are, like, I guess, being a little sore, but other than that, like, 3 days before the race, I was preparing mentally, like to really push myself, like I guess to a different level that I'm used to. And I was planning like the last 4 miles to like really push hard and like really dig deep into like I guess the pain cave, like experience that. Because I knew uh, during this training plan that we did to the for this race, I know that I was capable of doing a great performance, at least for at least 25 miles, and I know the uh, the the last miles of the race, I was gonna have to like really dig deep and really push myself. Unfortunately, didn't get to do that due to cramps,
Well,
and
we
I'm
don't
really
want to put
afraid.
the
What was
we don't
that?
want to put the, we don't want to put the cart before the horse. We want to tell everybody the whole story right at the beginning. So
Okay,
let's
okay, okay.
we'll take a step back and we'll tell everybody about you.
All right.
Um, so Eric, how old are you?
I'm 26 years old. Pretty still,
26
I guess, still
years young.
young.
Yeah, 26 years young. uh, he's that's great. Eric, where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Mexico. Came here to the United States when I was 10 years old. So yeah, it's I've been here for a while already.
Yeah.
Already got used to the culture. Yeah, so it's been a fun journey.
Did you move because you currently reside in South Carolina? Did you move to South Carolina when you were 10 or did you move someplace else
Yeah, we moved here in South Carolina. We have lived here since then.
since then? Right on.
Yeah,
That's great. And your parents are here with you, right?
yeah. My whole family, we all just decided to move here and just yeah, to just have a better future. That was the main goal. Just that's, follow the American dream, like we
Yeah.
say.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, actually, I have a older sister and a younger brother. We're 2 years apart from each other.
Awesome. Are any of them runners as well, or just you?
Just me. Unfortunately, they don't exercise. They just don't see the value of being active.
Yeah.
It's not only about looking good, but also feeling good and the discipline.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, it's a little bit of a commitment, and I guess not everyone's willing to do that. But I understand. Can't judge them. We'll have different goals in life, so if that's not their goal, I just can't do anything about that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, how did running start for you?
Um, well, it started back in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, I started running back in 2018. Before that, I started hiking in 2015.
Okay.
Um, Before that, I didn't even know mountains existed. Uh, yeah, like growing up, like our parents were always working, so uh, we did like 2 trips to what is it called? I think it's called Chimney Rock.
Yeah, Chimney Rock. Yep.
Is that a park, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
down
So
by the
I
coast.
remember. Yep. Uh, Remember they took us there. I think twice when we were kids. And after that, they just started working a lot just to provide. And yeah, we totally forgot about vacations or sports. All they did was work, and we pretty much went to school and back home. That was it. But yeah, I was a really active kid, so I guess that helped. But yeah, started hiking back in 2015. I had a dream, like I had a weird dream. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember it was on a Saturday. I was sleeping, and then I on the dream I saw this someone uh, on top of a mountain calling me. Like he didn't say any words, but his hand was like saying, "Come on, follow me to the top of the mountain." And it was a very vivid dream. And when I woke up, I was like, "Man, that was really strange. Um, what does that even means?" So I woke up. And then I search in my phone nearest mountains, or mountains near Gaffney. I forgot how I type it in my phone, but the first option was Table Rock,
Yeah.
uh, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So I was only like an hour and 30 minutes from home. So I started looking for like activewear that I had in my closet. I just picked a random pair of shorts, my tennis shoes, and a bag with snacks. And I set the GPS, and there I was going to this mountain. And I arrived to the park around like 11:30 p.m. And I remember going to the state park office, and the ranger asked me, "Where are you hiking to?" And I said, "I'm going up to Table Rock to the summit." He said, "I don't think you're gonna be able to make it in time. Usually takes people 4 to 5 hours." And he said, "It's already late. You're not gonna be back in time." So I was like, "Okay, I'll come back in another day, at an earlier time." And all I did was kayak. So there's like a little lake, and you can rent kayaks. And if you kayak to the center of the lake, you can see the mountain from the center. So I was really curious. So I kayaked really fast to the center. I was very anxious to look at the mountain. And it just blew my mind. I was like, how can people make it all the way over there? It just looks too far. And it's only like 3 miles. It's not that far now that I think about it. But when you look at it from the bottom, it looks like
Yeah.
you're gonna be there all day. Um, so I was really amazed by I guess the landscape, the views. I don't know. I just really like connected with nature that time really well. In the dream, like, I mean, I'm a believer, so I want to say that was God calling me, saying, "Hey, it's time for you to explore something else,
That's
different
beautiful,
chapter of your life."
man.
So uh, I came back home and I was really excited. I was like, "Man!" I even took pictures and I was showing my parents. It's like, "Look where I went to. It's really cool." And after that, almost every weekend I was hiking up Table Rock. I did that for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And then I eventually got tired of Table Rock. I was like, there has to be something else. I just so I started searching more, and I started going to starting exploring like the Asheville area,
Hmm.
uh, Black Mountain, the Smoky Mountains. So I started just hiking different places. But the thing that hiking, you can only cover so much terrain. Yeah, distance. You can only cover so much distance. And one time I was just hiking down, and I naturally started like jogging, with no running gear or anything, just like random cheap running shoes. I don't think they were even running shoes, just a random shoe. I don't even remember the brand. But I would just jog down. I will hike up the mountain, and just to make it fast, I would just jog down. And I remember that by the end of I guess a total of 6 mile hike and jog combined together, like my legs will get really shaky. Like I will feel really tired. Uh, and after that, I was like, uh, I think I can probably try to jog up the mountain and power hike and all that. So I started doing that. And when was it? I think it was, I want to say 2018. Yeah, 2018. I went back to Table Rock, South Carolina, and I got to the parking lot really late. It was like, I want to say around lunchtime on a Saturday or Sunday. I forgot the exact date, but I saw these two guys running down to the parking lot, and I was really curious because they had like really nice running gear, and I came up to them and asked them like where they were coming from, and they said that they were coming from Sassafras. And then when I asked them the distance, they said it was like a 20-mile out and back, and I was really like amazed. I was like, I'm that's a long distance. I only do 3 mile, like 6 miles, and I'm like, uh, I'm destroyed. My legs are shaking. I feel like I have run out of energy. And these guys look fresh. They were smiling. I could hear them talking about the run. Um, and they actually told me about a race. I'm sure you heard about Conquer the Rock
Mm-hmm. Yep.
50K.
Yep.
That happens in March. So they told me that they had a 50K option and a 10-mile option, and they said you can sign up for the 10 mile. That will be a good challenge for you. And yeah, I hiked up, came back down, and when I got home, I researched the race, and I signed up for the race. And then I think 2 weeks before the race, we got an email that we could go and volunteer to clear the trail, to do some maintenance to the trail. So I did that, and I got connected to more runners. And then I did that race. Race day came, and I was ready to go. I thought I could beat anyone because I didn't know about running. I didn't know how good you could become. So I was like, I'm gonna go place first, and yeah, that was my mentality, that I could beat anyone at that time.
How'd that go?
So terrible. But no, it gave me a good lesson. It showed me how good of an athlete you could become, and just what got my attention was the community, the running community. How um, I want to find the right word. Giving they were, or passionate about running,
Yeah.
or just
Did you
yeah,
find them?
just being around each other.
Yeah.
What was that?
Did you find them welcoming?
Yeah, welcoming. Yeah, exactly. That's the word. Because before that, I didn't have any type of community. My friends, we all split out. I really didn't have any friends, so uh, I, I felt really welcoming to that community, and it just surprised me how just random people were willing to be there for you. During the race, giving you stuff, giving you advice, cheering you on. Like that was awesome. That was an awesome experience, and it still is. It's a big part of racing, or not racing, but just I guess, yeah, all that. I guess not only the racing aspect, but the community that is there for you. I think that's really awesome. But yeah, that I did that 10-mile race, and I placed, I don't know, I don't even remember, probably last, but I gave me a good lesson, and I connected with more runners, and then from there I started reaching out to people and run with uh, run with others, and I started signing up for other races, and after that I kind of pick up running more. Uh, I realized that I had to do more running, so I would do um, an average of like 10 miles on the road during the week. And during the weekend, I will do like um, 8 to 10 miles on the trail. And slowly, I started adding more distance, connecting with more people. And and I started also researching myself, like reading books, articles, watching videos about how to improve your running, diet, and all that. It was uh, it got
Really
crazy.
got into
It got a little bit crazy.
it.
What was that?
I said you really got into it. That's great. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I was really. What was that?
I was going to say, we were talking not too long ago about our mutual friend Max, who also runs and was kind of, in a way, kind of a mentor, if you will. Would you say he was?
Oh yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I definitely. I met Max at a race, and we became good friends. And he told me about other runners, and he kind of advised me about running. He will tell me like uh, what distance to do, like sometimes what not to do if I was running too hard, or he will call me and say, "Hey man, you need to slow down. You're running too fast. You're gonna injure yourself." And yeah, I definitely learned from Max a lot. Um, I will
Good.
definitely not listen. I would just try to do my own. Always try to run hard all the time during training, and end up getting injured. But yeah, Max was definitely a big influence, and helped me a lot to get better for sure.
It's always good to have somebody that has some more experience that can give you some pointers and talk to you about things, and especially when you're new to a sport. Um, you started racing and you started with the 10 miler. um, and what would you say your progression from there was? Did you go shorter after that, or did you want to go longer?
Oh, I definitely wanted to go longer. Like I, I think yeah, I would say I was doing more of a long distance. The 50K is like I would say my favorite distance, and I've done a couple of 50Ks, and every single one of them, like I learn a new thing. Like I learn what to do, what not to do. But yeah, it's I would say it just it just blows my mind how people can run for so long at a like higher, I guess, intensity, and just still finish, I guess, just running fast for a long period of time. Like that's what keeps me signing up for 50Ks, so I can I guess be able to do that one day.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
compete to a an elite level. That's the main goal. But for now, it's slowly getting there.
Who are some of the people in our sport that you look up to?
Like I guess the elites, or I guess local runners.
Anybody. Yeah, anybody. Like, it doesn't have to be elites. It can be anybody. Who do you like? Who do you want to, model yourself after, or follow after, or follow on, social medias? Who's like one of those? You're like, that person. It can be a, guy, girl, whoever it is. You're like that person's. I would like to do stuff like they do.
Yeah, like with when I met uh, Max, like introduced me to what are they called? The Astro Running Collective,
Yeah.
right?
See.
Uh,
Yep.
the guys I know, one of them is like Luke. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can say his last name.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
Uh,
That's fine.
Luke Paulson. That's how you pronounce his last name, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. So Luke, I really look up to him a lot because I seen him race. I have talked to him, and he just looks like like an average guy, and he's very humble. That's he doesn't brag about his races, and it looks like he doesn't even like to talk about running. He's just a regular guy that he likes to cook, and I just live simple. But when it comes to running, like it's a complete different person, and I really admire his talent. And we have run together. I would say he's one of the runners that have helped me take my running to the next level. Just running with him, having someone there to challenge me. And letting me know that I can slowly be at that level, if I'm patient. Uh, and just building that friendship. I think he's one of the, I guess, main persons that I really look up to here locally in the area that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, like the elite guys, you can say like Jim Wamsley. That will be like uh, I would love to be in that level, but I know that that's I don't know if it's possible for me, but I know I have to do a lot of work, and it's gonna be years to be at that level. But for now, I'm just focusing uh, in the beginnings, the fundamentals of running, and just yeah, just telling myself that it's going to be a slow journey. It's practicing patience. That's another thing that running has provided to me. Being patient, because when we rush things, we only end up getting hurt, and that's true with running and with life itself. It's they go hand in hand. You try to rush things and they just don't work. You just end up just getting hurt, and just keep pushing yourself back instead of moving slowly forward. So yeah,
It's wise words for a 26-year-old, sir.
I don't know, I don't know if they're wise, but um,
That's beautiful. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people should learn that lesson, and it takes people a long time to learn that lesson sometimes, and you've learned it at a young age, so that's invaluable.
yeah.
And
Well,
fantastic.
yeah. Well, when I started your following your coaching, I remember some days going harder than I was supposed to, and I remember you saying you have to slow down. If I want to do this long term, and it took me a while, and still, sometimes I don't know. I guess our ego or we feel that we are more capable, but it's we should listen to someone. I guess that's why we have coaches, to listen to them, because we can hurt ourselves. We just don't see. Sometimes we get blind by our mistakes, or we just don't want to see them, and it's good to have someone there that is looking what we are doing, not to kill ourselves.
Well, I mean, you guys, if we get carried away, I'm not saying it's you specifically, but a lot of times we get carried away with Strava, right?
Yeah, exactly.
People are going to see it. We do, it that is pride. We're like, oh, people are going to see this run, like, and it's really just getting over that, that self-inflation that you're just like, yeah, this is what I'm doing today. That's what it is, and that, honestly, people don't care. They see it, and you just say it was a recovery day. This is how I take recovery days. I mean, like, if Elio Kipchoge can go 9:30 pace or slower on his recovery days, I darn well think we all can. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
for
just a matter of kind of getting over ourselves. But a lot of times that's what it comes to is, we and ourselves too, even if we're not on Strava. Sometimes, we're like, I can't believe I'm running this slow, but the reality of it is a lot of times we're on the trails, it's just slower. I mean, the roads are definitely a lot faster, but if you're on the trail, you just got to get used to the fact that it's going to be a bit slower. But anyhow, sorry to take a sidebar there.
Oh, that's fine.
What was your first 50K? Which one did you do first?
The first 50K I did was Conquer the Rock.
It was Conqueror. So you did the 10 mile, and then you stepped up at eventually. What was the time frame from that 10 miler to the 50K?
A year. It was
A
a
year.
year. Yeah, it took a year. I just didn't know of any other races at the time. Um, And during the 10 miler, I met uh, my buddy Drew Welch. He lives in Greenville, South Carolina, and he was another person who he was actually the first person who, I guess, saw something in me, or believed that I could do more than I was, I guess, that I thought I was capable of the time. So he was also a big influence in the beginning stages of running. Uh, he would take me in like really long runs, 16 to 20 miles. It was brutal what we were doing at the time, but it gave us both of us a lesson. But it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, Another thing I learned uh, when I first started, we would just go because we wanted to like explore and just have fun, you know, enjoy nature. And it didn't really feel that hard. We were running definitely slow, and hiking a lot of times, but it was enjoyable, you know. And now it is. Um, but I guess that we get so, like you say, we get so caught up in data and following other runners that it almost feels like a job that I don't know. It's not it's not as enjoyable like it used to, and it feels harder. Uh, but I would say just don't forget that we do it just for the pure of enjoying, you know, nature. Just uh, cover more terrain, explore more in a short amount of distance. You know, because if you're running, you can definitely explore more and like really enjoy yourself being out there and also have fun with others. But yeah, I got a little bit of sidetracked there.
Okay. That's all.
But yeah, it took a year.
Yeah.
Drew actually helped me train for this race, and yeah, it took a year. Did the 50K, and yeah, it was a challenge. A lot of elevation. I forgot the elevation gain throughout the race, but I was surprised of my. I was really surprised of the results. I ended up placing second overall,
Nice.
so I guess not bad at the time. I was just having fun. It was I cannot explain it. I just feel like a kid on a playground. You know, it's didn't even feel hard at all. You know,
Yeah.
obviously I was getting tired. That limit my performance, but I didn't care at the time about like time, pace. I was just amazed of what was going on. You know, the people around. Yeah, it was just fun. That's all I can. That's how I can explain it.
That's great. That's what it should be, man. Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
you have fun. If it's not fun, we're doing something wrong. I
yeah,
hear that
exactly.
time and time again, and that's the truth. So you know, if you had a great experience, what do you think contributed to that? Like what went into that made that race so good? Was it the training? Did you work on strength, nutrition, all of it? Like, you know, what do you think happened there?
Yeah, I definitely trained for the terrain. So we will go and just run the course. And I knew how to do strengthening training just to uh, help me finish the race. But I didn't really like. I was just doing the strength training. Just um, I don't know how to explain it.
It's okay. Explain when you say strength training. What kind of stuff were you doing? What type of exercises were you doing?
Like I was doing like squats for an example, like um, high weight, low reps, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like um, box step ups, lunges, was working on my core, stuff like that, you know. But I was just doing it because I enjoyed exercising. You know,
Yeah.
I just enjoyed being active. That's what I wanted to say earlier.
Yeah.
Not because I had to do it to be ready for the race. Obviously, that was why I was doing it for. But it was just because I enjoyed being active. You know,
Sure.
feeling good. You know, that's
Yeah.
feeling healthy and strong. That's Yeah.
So I also want to hear. So you've signed up for this 50K. Now you tell your parents, "I'm going to run 50K." What's their reaction?
They didn't believe me. Like even right now, um, I'm sure they care and they support me. Like financially, like if I need money, if I'm traveling for a race, if I tell them about it, they don't express themselves a lot. Uh, they just say, "Okay, good luck," and they don't even ask me about it after the race.
No.
But when I told them about it, they do listen. But I guess I don't blame them. We just don't communicate a lot. I guess we don't express our feelings,
Okay.
and that's something that I feel like I can express my feelings through running. That's the only way I can. That's how I express myself. But yeah, they when I told them about the time or the distance, they say, "Oh, we can't believe you did all that." And I don't think they still understand or believe that I can do that because yeah, they don't seem to be amazed.
I can hear the happiness and the joy in your voice when you talk about it. So you can express yourself quite well. It comes out in the way you express yourself. So
Yeah.
um, absolutely. Um, so good experience there. You strength train. What did you take away from that experience?
Um, One, never forget about enjoying the process.
Right.
Biggest thing, never forget to about enjoying the process and be thankful uh, during race day that you are healthy uh, and just have the freedom to do it. Because it's for me coming from a different country, it's like a luxury. Doing this stuff. It's
Yeah.
back home you can do this. Like if someone sees you running, especially if I'm running short shorts, they will judge me. They will throw like stuff at me, uh, potentially even kill me. It's probably not to the extreme, but judgment. So I think it's we're really, I guess, privileged to have that, and yeah, take away. Yeah, be thankful for it. And obviously always be ready for the race. Train specifically for the course. Prepare. But again, never forget to enjoy the process. That's the biggest thing.
Very good. Very good. And how soon after that race did you race again?
Oh man, 3 weeks after that,
And what did you do?
I did the Fanta Flora 50K.
3 weeks later.
3 weeks later, uh,
You sound like me. And how did that feel?
um, the first 10 miles feel really easy. After that, it was really hard. It was a it's a mostly flat trail. It's you can run really quick if you can. So me not being used to running or being on my feet for that amount of time. Well, I was used to running that amount of time, but uh, I was trying to run the whole time. Uh, I was just trying to follow the guys up front. Just the competitive in me just wanted to like be out front, always even leading. I was like, I'm gonna lead this race. Uh, I don't know. I really enjoyed that competitive feeling.
Yeah.
Even if you're hurting, it's like there's like a magnet, uh, like the runners in front of you are like pulling you, and you just want to go even though you are hurting. It's I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, it was very challenging, but uh, I really enjoyed the experience. I learned a lot. I learned to just run my own race, and yeah, that's pretty much what I got out of that race. Just my own race, run my own race, and Yep, that's pretty much it.
Well, we got together the end of last year, so the end of 2020. We started training, and you had talked about South Mountains, doing South Mountains, and we got to go in, and you already said that we talked about making some of the efforts easier and not hammering all the time. What else changed in your training when we started working together?
Um, Slowing down. Yeah, definitely. Um,
Did the
Not
work
running too hard. What was that?
did the workouts change?
Yeah, definitely change. I was just doing random workouts. I would just come up with my own workouts, pretty much like speed workouts.
Yeah.
I would just do random things. Yeah, I would just randomly do things. And I didn't really had any specific pace that I had to target. I was just trying to run hard every time, and it was sustainable for a short amount of time. Then my body started feeling really fatigued, and yeah, I was just feeling really fatigued all the time, hungry, thirsty, like, and it was hard to concentrate during the day. And I was like, I don't think running should do this to you. I feel like running should um, make you feel healthier, and even more focused, throughout the day. You just have more energy, and it was becoming the opposite. But I think it was because I was trying to rush things too fast, um, and not knowing much about training. Even though I did read a few books and watch a few videos, it's trying to figure out yourself can take a long time. And I knew that if I kept training myself, I was just not gonna improve um, the way I wanted to. So yeah, definitely the workouts did change. The workouts with you are more structured, more specific for the race that we are doing. Uh,
Did you have that same level of fatigue and tiredness, or were you starting to feel stronger again? And
oh, it was a day and night difference.
good.
Towards the middle of the training with you, during the day, I just feel really focused, like I never felt before, and I just feel strong. Like uh, I just my aerobic system definitely improved. Yeah, just the biggest thing was not feeling tired all the time, and sore. Like I used to feel sore a lot. Now I only feel sore after like I guess this first race.
Hmm.
A little bit, but not that much. Nothing compared to what I used to feel. But yeah, definitely. Biggest takeaway was race specifically for a race, have goals, and stick with them. And yeah, take easy days easy, just to be able to recover. Something I didn't understand in the past.
Good. And so, we were all set to go 50K South Mountains, whatever it was, January. God, I don't remember what the date was, and it gets postponed, right? The snow came,
Yeah,
and we're like, well, it's now January 30th. We know the postponement date. But you said, all right, I'm going to go race this Harbison 25K in South Carolina. How was that?
yeah. I just that was like a last minute decision that I made. I didn't even discuss with you about that race, but I think the day before, right? The day before the race, I send you a message saying, I think I'm gonna do this race. Um, so yeah, I signed up for that race, and at the time, um, my right glute started like giving me problems. Just started feeling a little bit tight. Um, but that's always happened. For some reason, my right leg always gives me problems. Sometimes, nothing serious, but started developing like tightness and pain. but it slowly started getting better. And um, yeah, 2 weeks before South Mountains, I did Harvesting 25K, and I was just excited to race. You know, that's what I look for, the uh, the competitive aspect. You know, just feel like someone's chasing me and I have to push myself uh, hard. I don't know. I just enjoy that part of running. Uh, yeah, since when the got when we started running during the race, I just felt really strong, and I took the lead uh, since the beginning, and I um, I practiced running easy, and then um, slowly started increasing the intensity, the pace, and that's something that in the past I didn't have the ability to do, or I would just go out too fast and fade at the end of the races. That always happened in the past, but during harvesting, it was completely the opposite. I could slowly start increasing the intensity, and I felt stronger and stronger as the race went by, and I was just amazed. I couldn't believe like I felt that good and strong even towards the end. Yeah, it was just I wish I had words to explain how it feels. You know, it's I mean you're hurting a little bit, but you still have the ability to keep pushing more and more. Unfortunately, this race only was 25K, and I didn't have time to keep pushing myself more. But uh, it was definitely a confidence boost for sure, and it definitely let me know in the type of fitness I was at the time. Yeah, and it helped a lot to yeah, to make me feel ready for South Mountains for sure.
Good, man. Yeah. So Eric came away with the win at Harbison. And then yesterday, we lined up with our COVID provisions, 40 people per wave, cool temperatures. And here comes Eric. What were you wearing, Eric?
I was wearing like this a singlet, uh, running tights. No, they're not tights. What are they called?
Half
Half
tights.
tights. Yeah, half tights, and just gloves and my two 18-ounce soft flask, and my buff. Definitely, I had my buff.
Yeah. Yep. For your cover your face. Yep.
Yeah,
22 degrees, and here's Eric, singlet and half tights.
yeah. I
Oh,
just
God.
I was not planning to.
What's that?
I was actually going to plan to wear a long sleeve, but Brandon was calling us to the store line, so I got really nervous. I'm not going to lie, I got really nervous, and I making decisions started feel really hard even before the race. So I was really confused because Brandon was like, "The race about to start," and I was getting ready to put on my long sleeve. I was like, I guess I just run in this singlet. I was just not gonna have enough time to put my long sleeve and put my bib on. So I didn't have an option. But my body just has a lot of like gets warm really fast, so that helped a lot.
Good. Do you usually get pretty nervous before the races?
Oh yeah, I can't sleep. Like I feel like everyone does. Yeah, it's it's a human. It's I guess part of our nature. Getting nervous. Some people are better to hide it than others. But yeah,
I,
I get
I haven't gotten nervous in a long time. I think UTMB was the last time I got nervous. Maybe before the like a 10K, because I haven't done a 10K in years. I did the hot chocolate 10K in here in Asheville last year, and like I said, I hadn't raced a 10K in years, a road 10K. I got a little bit nervous for that because everybody was, in the racing flats and singlets and everything, and I was like, oh boy, am
oh
I? But
yeah.
Yeah, I think the ultras, I look forward to them so much. I don't really get nervous. I look forward to being out in the woods.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so I just, like you said earlier, I just appreciate the opportunity to be there and run with some new folks and stuff. So I don't get as nervous for the ultras. I think like it was more like the road races and stuff. And I mean, back when I used to do all this stuff, years ago, I used to always, just like you, get super nervous and I would get all worked up. But anymore, it's like I just like being there, so it's just more like eager anticipation than it is like an anxiety. But yeah, that's taken me a long time.
Nice.
So yeah, we get to the starting line and Brandon plays his banjo and off we go. And we're going up the first climb. So everybody knows I was there running with Eric for the first, I don't know what we were, like 6 miles or so before my calf really started acting up and I had to drop out. But Eric, you kept racing, and it sounded like I was listening to the race radio. It sounded like there were 3 of you, right? There were 3 of you together.
Yes, we ran like almost since the beginning of the race all the way to mile 16. It was me, Corey, and Mark running
Right on.
together, just talking, having fun, sharing stories, and something I have never experienced before. Also, like being in the front and still uh, being able to talk, and it just made it feel easy. I guess, and also we were talking about the scenery, and it was just awesome. It didn't feel like we were racing, at least before at least the first half. It just made it feel really easy. It's conversating and just enjoying the scenery around.
Yeah, that's great because it was beautiful. We had a beautiful day. Clear blue skies. Well, I mean, I should say for the first 3/4 of the day before the weather moved in. But I mean, when we started, it was a beautiful morning. I think we were up on the ridge, and I was like, "Are you guys seeing this?" And you said,
Yeah,
"What?" The sun? I said, "No, the mountains." It was gorgeous.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was beautiful. It is. I mean, like on a beautiful day, you can see forever up there. That was a beautiful course. So what happened at 16 miles?
Uh, so I would say mile 15 and a half, we were going up a climb, and I had to stop to tie one of my left shoe. So I stopped, and Mark and Corey kept going up, just power hiking, and they it took me a long time to tie my shoes. For some reason, probably because I was shaking, I was really cold. I'm not going to lie. So I had to take off my gloves, and my hands were really, really shaky. I mean, it was cold out there, and
Oh,
they they uh, they kept going, and I was like probably like 40 meters behind, because it took me a long time, and especially during the climb, they kept going, and then got my shoe ready and got put my gloves back on, and I started like jogging up the hill and caught up to them, and then we got to mile 15, yeah, mile 16, and then I knew it. I knew that after mile 15, I had to start pushing, like really, really start competing. Uh, so the guys kept like, even though we came, sorry, I'm trying to picture this.
sure.
After we came up the climb, and we started like going over a flat section, they kept still walking. I was like, I'm not gonna walk, it's flat, I'm gonna start jogging. And then I started running, and then I did like like a minute and like a minute surge, like it was flat, so I surged, and they tried to follow me, but then we came up another climb, and I kept pushing the pace, and they didn't follow me. Like they slowed down, and after that, I just kept pushing and pushing myself more and more, and um, I could still hear them. I could still hear them behind me, but like after 16 miles, I told myself, I'm not going to look back. I'm just gonna go by effort and just keep gonna keep pushing myself. And if someone passes me, I'm just gonna run my own race and just do what I know I'm capable of doing. And I just kept pushing harder and harder. And yeah, uh, I remember, yeah, just running down uh, after like 26 miles or something like that. No, I'm sorry. It's after like 21 miles. It's a slow descent, uh, and I just took advantage of that descent and started running faster. And I couldn't hear anyone coming behind me, so I was like, I think I'm in a good spot, and I just kept pushing.
It's that's a hard spot to be in. You know, leading from 16 miles to the finish, which was about 32. So you know you've got 16 miles in your own head.
Yeah,
Uh, did you did you have any anxiety? You know, were you worried about them? Did you check back, or you were just focused on yourself and what you needed and staying in the moment?
yeah. I really didn't focus on who was behind me. I was just running I was just looking what was in front of me, and just I was just I was just trying to stay really focused, and just I was not worried about them by that time. I was just uh, I was just trying to tap in into like um, I don't know how to explain it. It like if I was feeling pain, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to like keep going. I guess you can call it tap into the pain cave.
Sure. Yeah, you just wanted to see how hard you could push yourself and see,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's where I was going. That's what I was looking for, that feeling.
Mhm.
Uh, just even though I was hurrying, I just wanted, because if I'm sure you have listened to interviews of other like professional ultra runners, and they talk about really pushing hard when everything gets really tough, and they can still uh, push themselves to new limits. And I wanted to experience that, because I knew I had a different fitness level than before, and I wanted to see what I could do. So I was looking for that feeling. It's uh, that's
Did
what
you
I
find
was I was only focusing on that, not about the other runners anymore. It was
and
just
did
me versus me.
and did you find it?
Unfortunately, not.
Not yet.
No, uh, I at mile 26, I was still running down. I think it was not the last aid station, but I was still running down. Yeah, but it was. I remember it was mile 26, and I remember feeling still really strong. And I was not breathing hard. I was not sweating much. I was just enjoying the trails, and I was like, when is this pain moment is gonna get here so I can like push myself? And it just never showed up. I never got tired. I never bunked. My energy levels never dropped. So like mile 26 or so, like I started getting emotional. I couldn't believe I was running that well, and I started crying. Like I was like, man, I can't believe this. Uh, I'm I'm uh, I'm improving a lot. I can't believe I'm leading this race. And the course record wasn't mine, but I know it was going to be hard to achieve that, at least for right now. But um, I was just yeah, really really impressed of how well I was feeling. But at mile 28, my left hamstring, not my left, I'm sorry, my right hamstring started cramping, and I just got really scared, because I was cramping races. But it wa- in the past it's mainly because I muscle fatigue and I'm just have run out of energy or electrolytes. But it was not the case yesterday. Um, I think it was just I don't know what happened yesterday, but it was yeah. I really don't know what happened to my left. I'm sorry, not my left, my right hamstring. Uh, so I was forced to slow down. And like obviously when you slow down, you you recover a lot more. So I was still moving slow and recovering at the same time. But every time I was trying to push myself, I started feeling that cramp, like my 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 right hamstring starting to cramp. So I never got to like force myself, like really deplete my energy levels and like go hard. I didn't get to do that. Just being scared to cramp and really walk or just not being able to finish just because of a cramp.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm really scared of that.
And what were you doing to keep your energy levels up? Did you take a lot of nutrition? What kind of things were you doing?
Yeah, so I took a spring energy gel every 30 minutes. I was doing that, and also I was drinking water and um, I was drinking Gatorade uh, in the other bottle. Uh, so I think I was filling up really well. A gel every 30 minutes and constantly taking water and electrolytes. Um, so I think that was. I don't think nutrition was uh, was the problem.
No, no, yeah, I just wanted to know what you were doing to keep those energy levels up, and that's kind of what we wanted to practice during training too on your long runs was make sure that you had that interval dialed in as to what's going to sustain your energy levels. So sounds like it worked. That's that's great. So 6 miles in, like you said, 6 miles to the finish, you start getting some cramps. You just slowed your pace down, which was smart, so you didn't cramp out. And now you're getting closer and closer to the finish. And yeah, obviously, you probably still had that crampy sensation, but every step you take, you're getting closer. Was that your thought?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was just mainly not cramp, and not been able to finish.
Did you know where the finish was? Like, did you know how close you were when you got near the finish, or no?
No, I was really confused. Uh, the trail's so confusing. There's so many trails that um, it's really for me at least. It's really hard to remember the trails or where I was at the time. Um, but I knew after mile 28, I was like, I only have like a couple more miles. I'm just going to try to like not cramp and just jog or walk if I have to just to the finish line. And yeah, I really didn't know where the finish line was till I saw Brandon before the last descent. Uh, I told him, man, where's the finish line? Because I'm cramping. And he said, you're almost there, buddy. Just go down go down and you'll be there in like a half a mile. I was like, thank God. 'Cause, I don't wanna cramp anymore. It's just a really bad feeling. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
last week
But
I did, I cramped a lot and it was not fun.
no, no. But I got to see, I got to see your finish, which was one benefit of dropping out, which was, very rewarding as a coach to see you come across in first place. Looking strong. You had a huge fist pump. I could tell you felt, really excited and relieved that you had come across and won. That was wonderful. You ended up running, let me think, was it
34.
thank you, 4:34, which was just off the course record, right?
Yeah.
It was 4:28, is that right?
I think the course record is 420. Uh, I'm not sure honestly.
Nah,
But
you weren't far off.
yeah, but I did run the second fastest time of the course, so uh, I guess I was close.
Yeah, yep. Well, that's awesome. I mean, congratulations on the win there. That was fantastic. One of our locals here in Asheville, formerly Ann Wheatley, now Ann George, she won the women's 50K. And then Sarah Keys from New York and her boyfriend Aaron each respectively won the marathon. Um, which yeah, like and Aaron broke my course record for the marathon, unfortunately, but at least it goes to another Aaron.
Yeah, there
um,
you
so you got to have some time to reflect on it. Good, bad. What did you take away?
go. Oh man, training wise, big takeaway is like set goals and stick with them. Uh, and be consistent. That's the biggest thing. And it showed, like I really work really hard for this race. Even though it's not like an elite level race or a big race.
Well, Corey was
But
a Olympic trials qualifier, was he not? I mean,
yeah, yeah, he is definitely.
and Mark was the other gentleman.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah,
Mark's taken top three there multiple times, right?
yeah. Second place, I believe as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's you had some good competition. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, consistency when we use Training Peaks, and when I go through Erick's calendar each week, it's all green, and that means that he hit everything just as I prescribed it. Red signifies that he missed it, and I don't see any reds. Yellows and oranges means that he was like way off. That he didn't do what I asked him to do, and it's always green. So yeah, consistency is key. And I mean, you're learning, and that's a great part of this process is learning and learning your body, as you talked about, like listening to your body and the effort that it could sustain, not worrying about what the pace or the watch said. That's awesome, especially for ultra running. It's just learning your body. So you're definitely you're taking these lessons well. So I certainly appreciate you listening to this old man.
yeah, definitely. I mean, this is just the beginning. This is just my side is on the, like, have my dreams and goals are like high. And I know that I have to listen. Uh, there's no way around it. It's we gotta be um, what's the word? We have to set real goals. Real, like, not just live by expectation. There's no way. And I have learned that if we don't follow like specific, uh, like a specific, if we don't set a specific goal and just really stick with the training or the process, I mean, we just not gonna get anywhere. It's the cool thing about our bodies can adapt to so many things, and even though we're not, even though we're still training, even though if we're not specifically training, we can still see results. But the results are more rewarding and better if we like just put our heads down and just stay focused. It's that's a big lesson that I also take away from this training block and this race, that don't get distracted with anything else. Just look straight ahead, follow the plan, and listen.
Erick, it's been a pleasure, coaching you. Obviously, it's been a tremendous joy to see the outcome of this race. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I think, and you're doing a tremendous thing. I mean, I hope that others. We always talk about minorities in the sport. I really want to see that grow so that we have higher numbers. So I'm super stoked to have that as part of this as well. It's really cool to see you getting engaged in this, and I hope others are inspired by you to do the same. So if people want to reach out and get in touch with you or follow you, how can they do so?
Uh,
Are you
I don't
active?
know. What was
Instagram?
that?
Are you active on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm active in social media. I mean, if they want to reach out to me, they can find me. I would say the easiest way is reach me through Facebook. Just you can find me there as Erick, Erick Martinez. Um, I'm sure there are gonna be a lot of them, but
Well, no, it's pretty easy to pick out the runners.
yeah. Unfortunately, I have a running picture. I should,
Yeah,
but
well, yeah, it's cool. I'm just, people are pretty savvy, I'm sure. And then I'll obviously have your name and everything in the show notes and the title, so people will be able to find you. But I appreciate you, Erick. Thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations once again.
thank you. I really appreciate the podcast.
Thank you, Erick, once again for coming on and sharing your story, and congratulations once again on your win. That was fantastic. And as I said there, it was a joy to be at the finish line and be a part of that, especially in the capacity of a coach. To see the success of an athlete after the training that we've put in, and just seeing things come to fruition. So, thank you for letting me be a part of that journey, Erick. And for those that are looking for that type of mentorship, coaching, whatever you want to call it, please feel free to reach out. We do have Coach Thad McNeil that's with us. He is definitely loving the role, and if we can create that conversation, just let us know. Also, just a reminder, I've been cranking out some 12 and 16 week plans. So if you want an individualized training plan, jump on the website, take a look, see if it's something for you. We'll have a conversation. These are not cookie cutter plans. This is, based on our conversation and, what I can kind of scrounge up from Strava or other data. I write a plan, to help you get to your race day. Even if there's multiple race days within your schedule, we'll plug those all in there and make sure that you have a plan that's right for you. So that's, you don't have to have the coaching aspect, not the day-to-day, that I do personally, but this will be just a calendar plan for you. Once I write it, we have a follow-up conversation to make sure you understand what's going on. And if you have any questions during the plan, obviously, don't hesitate to reach out, but, it's kind of, here's your plan and off you go. So after having done a few of them, you may notice that I had to have a slight price increase on the website, and that's just because of the time that I'm putting into it and the energy. I think there are plans out there, and you just kind of pay for the plan. This is, like I said, more individual, and I put a lot more time and energy and into writing this plan. So, but if it's something for you, just reach out. Those are on my website, mrrunningpains.com. My newsletter, I record this here on February 1st. This episode will release on February 4th, but my newsletter is out, the February newsletter. If you do not subscribe but would like to, you can go on the website. On the homepage is a way to subscribe. And all of the previous both podcasts and newsletters are archived on the website. You can click the menu and you'll see Connect, and under the Connect page is podcasts and newsletters. So please, join me if and read those. I appreciate that greatly. And as always, thank you for the support and listening to the podcast. I am now on Patreon. If you feel you are able to financially support, I really, certainly appreciate that. And even if you can't, if you can just subscribe or share the podcast, it's all helpful. I'm enjoying sharing this and sharing other stories, and hopefully helping you guys and even myself learn things along the way. So thank you for that consideration. As I kind of said during the podcast, I did try to race South Mountains last week. I was using a Theragun massage tool, and unfortunately, I hit must have been a really just tender spot in my calf, and I injured myself using the massage tool. So fair warning to those out there that be gentle, be real mild with it, and be cognizant of sore or tender areas, because I got into the race and my calf just was not having it, especially weirdly on the downhills. It just kept kind of pulling on me, and I pulled out really early before anything happened. So I'm gonna go see Miriam Saloom, who's my physical therapist and who's been on the podcast a bit, and have some dry needling, and hopefully just knock it out. My wife, who's a physician, she kind of felt the calf to see what was going on, and she found 6 different knots just in that area of where I was sore. So definitely, I gunked it up and messed myself up. I was kind of nervous going into it in that regard, not nervous for the race, but just worried about the calf. It was definitely on my mind, and definitely surfaced too early. So anyhow, live to run another day, as I say. And it's beautiful, beautiful course, as we said. So if you get the opportunity, South Mountains, they have a half marathon, a marathon, and a 50K, usually in January each year. Great race. Brandon Thrower puts on a really fun event with the Tanawa Adventures. So highly recommend that race. Other things going on. I was reading Lope, Lope magazine. It's kind of a monthly story, if you will. They're all true stories, which usually are really fantastic from all aspects of our sport. And, it was cool. If you follow on social media, I posted my workout from what this story was about. The original workout is called the Michigan, and my coach at NC State was eating at a restaurant with the coach that made this, and they were eating at the Fraser, and so that's what Nick changed the name of the workout to for us, was the Fraser. And I'm reading this and saw my old coach in the article, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if I can dig and find my workout, because when we finished, they gave us our training logs, the paper training logs that we wrote. And so I went in there and found it, and like I said, I posted a picture of it on social media. So I thought that was pretty fun, just to be able to see that and enjoy it. Having lived through that workout, it's a beast of a workout. But anyhow, just a little bit of history and connection. I really I reached out to the author and kind of said I really appreciated the article and the trip down memory lane. Other news, Cocodona, I did decide to pull the plug. I just don't feel it's the right thing for me to do, to travel all the way out to Arizona. And, as I talked about, I didn't want to put that on my family, as their trip to Arizona is following me along the course and crewing. I just didn't feel that was the right thing for my family, and because they definitely were coming, no doubt about it. And even if I had crew, my wife and kids, they can't be too far from the race. So I'd really rather them enjoy their trip to Arizona. So I declined my entry to Cocodona. I've got a number of other things, as I kind of mentioned, that I'm looking forward to. I want to get this calf healed and then just kind of reassess. But I think I have a different plan, even if it's not, in a race setting. There's definitely some things I want to do, not necessarily FKTs either, just some times I want to shoot for, and maybe just do them with friends. it's weird. I just I don't know if it was my calf or what. I just wasn't in the racing mentality on Saturday. And I just kind of been enjoying the adventure runs and being with friends. So, every once in a while, you kind of take a step back and you enjoy a different aspect of running, which I think I have been, and I think I'll continue to do so until that drive is really there to truly race again. My buddy Dave, who I do a lot of my adventure with, he took second in the marathon Saturday, and we're going to run the Black Mountain Marathon virtually together in February. They are not hosting the Mount Mitchell Challenge this year with everything going on in the Parkway, only allowing 50 people per event. So they decided to just make it virtual and just have the marathon so that we don't, get on the Parkway at all. So we're going to do that, like I said, virtually together, just kind of a fun run. I even thought about doing the double and doing the marathon Saturday and then, doing my own adventure and doing the like a self-supported Mount Mitchell Challenge on Sunday. But we'll see how the body's feeling and what the calendar looks like. So I hope your training goes well. I hope your running is fun and you're finding joy in the day in and day out of it. If you got questions and want to reach out, as I said earlier, you can reach out through the mrrunningpains.com website. My email is runningpains@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram under mrrunningpains. Facebook is mrrunningpains coaching if you want to like the page and kind of follow along in some of the stuff that I post up there. Let's see, YouTube should be having a new video coming out this week as well. So the YouTube channel is just under Aaron Saft. You can follow along there. Strava is Aaron Saft, MR Running Pains. If you want to follow my journeys there and ask questions on my training. This past week I haven't uploaded much just because of my calf. I need to catch up on there. And so aside from that, I really, once again, appreciate you guys, and I hope to have a new episode with a special guest next week. I've reached out, have not heard back yet, so we'll see if we have to fall back to Plan B. But thank you for joining me on episode 51. Until next time, keep running, my friends.